you love movies and movie discussions, you've come to the right place. Who am I, you ask? I am the Wiz! And I'm here today to review the 1941 family drama, How Green Was My Valley, directed by John Ford. Yeah, I know some of you are going to be like, well, hold on, you missed a review. What's going on? Some of us decided to, I don't know, they decided they wanted to spend time with their family this past week, so we didn't have the podcast. I don't know about how good that excuse is, but yeah, we're going to do the theory of everything next week for Saturday, me and Kim. We're going to do past Oscar winners as the theme, so look forward to that review next week. I might do another review after that, we'll see. How Green Was My Valley? This is a film that was a Best Picture winner in 1942, and I think that's really all it's known for now. Back then, it was a very popular book. It was made into a feature film that won the Oscar. Again, that's really all it's known for, but it's known for it for a very specific reason. Basically because the films that it beat, well, there are a few films that it beat, but the one film that it beat that surprises everybody is Citizen Kane. This is the movie that beat Citizen Kane for Best Picture. It's very interesting because people didn't really realize this and make a big deal out of this until it won the AFI #1 film of all time when AFI did their 100 movies, 100 films feature. So that's when people started going, well, wait a minute, how did Citizen Kane lose Best Picture if it's one of the best films of all time? And I don't know the politics of it or really what happened, but my guess is that, like the Oscars now, the Oscars likes to reward people for their careers, or as a "I'm sorry, here's your reward" kind of thing. And this is the thing I have an issue with the Oscars. It doesn't seem like they reward good performances or great performances in film or in direction or anything. It's more of a, we're going to give you one because we messed up the last time. And it's an ongoing cycle over and over again. And that's basically what the Oscars is now. And it kind of sucks, so what are you gonna do? All right, so why don't we get into it? Let's get into the review of How Green Was My Valley, directed by John Ford. And before we get into the review, let's go into the plot. This is a family drama of sorts about the Morgans who live in a Welsh mining village. And it shows a lot of things in that village. It is a coal mining village. Basically, everybody in the town that are men work in the coal mines, essentially. And it really is about what happens throughout a small period of time in that valley. It goes from things like marriages, relationships, tragedies, to things that happen in the coal mine regarding labor and stuff like that. So it's definitely a very interesting retrospective. I think it's like set for a couple of years. I'm not entirely sure. So now that we've gotten to what the movie is about, let's get into my 3 points. And my first point for this film is, it has a great cast including Walter Pidgeon and Donald Crisp. This has a really good cast. I don't think I can think of one person where I think they were miscast or didn't do a good job in this. But I want to especially highlight Walter Pidgeon, who plays Mr. Grifford, and Donald Crisp, who plays the Father Morgan, or Mr. Morgan in the movie. These two characters are really well done and really well acted. They are strong male role models who are very sympathetic, but also very kind, very likable characters. There's also Roddy McDowall's character, Hugh, who is the main character of the film. And this also features a incredibly young Maureen O'Hara. I mean incredibly young. When I saw her, I was like, whoa! I don't think I've ever seen her that young. I'm not even sure this is her first film. This was definitely when she was younger. You can tell how young she is in the film. And she's pretty good in the movie as well. But I definitely want to highlight Walter Pidgeon and Donald Crisp. And I think Donald Crisp won an Academy Award for his performance in this movie. And I think it was deserved. It was a very good performance. Second point, has beautiful shot selection. There is something I need to say about this movie. Apparently, for this film, they had to build this entire town from scratch, from where Ford actually shot this. And it looks really good. The stone cobbled houses, the way that the town looks, the mine looks, and it looks really good in the movie itself. I especially like how they shot certain sequences, especially when the mine shaft or the mine whistle blows, or certain scenes when it comes to the valley itself. When it comes to its cinematography and the way it's shot, it is actually very stunning looking. I do have to give it credit. It's a very beautiful looking film. And my third point, a good amount of telling, not showing. This film has a very chatty narrator. I really think, and I might be wrong, but it's like the first 10-15 minutes is full of narration. And that comes kind of an issue in the beginning of the film, because it was the one thing I noticed right away. Is like, wow, this has got a lot of narration. And that's where I come across the issue of some movies where they like to tell, not show. It is a principle of screenwriting where you want to show what's going on, not tell. And the annoying thing about the narration in this movie is that it points out very obvious things that if you would just pay attention to the film, the narration would be utterly pointless. I don't know if that is a common thing from back then. For as many films I have seen, I can't say that I don't remember a lot of older films having this much narration, but there is a ton of it in this movie. And I'm not exaggerating here. The first 15 minutes is full of narration. It does trail off as the film goes on, but it just seems like it's pointless to have it. I'm betting this is more of a thing where since it was based on the book, they want to highlight some of the writing in the book, which, okay. But that's where you try and blend the movie in to not use it so much. So I found the narration and the way that it would tell the story pretty annoying, and I would have rather it just showed me as I'm watching the film. Okay, so who do I recommend this for? I recommend this for people if you like generational family dramas. The film highlights an entire family of different generations going through their hardships, from the father to the older sons to the younger son Hugh, dealing with the town and what the town is, which is a mining town. And I would also recommend this for people if you want a pro-union movie. I am actually kind of stunned. I didn't hear anybody in the political space actually recommend this as a pro-union movie. I think this would be incredibly effective as a pro-union movie. And if you are somebody who wants to show why, if you believe unions are a good thing, this would probably be a movie to show that to somebody. If they can handle it being black and white, which I'll roll my eyes and whatever. But yeah, so if you can't recommend Norma Ray for some reason, I would say How Green Was My Valley would probably be a good second choice for that as well. Who do I not recommend it for? I do not recommend it for somebody if you get annoyed with over narration. Like I said in my 3 points, this film seems a little over narrated. And the thing that annoyed me the most about it is that it wasn't necessary. You could watch the film without the narration and you could figure out what's going on. But this film just pointed out to you verbatim, here's what's happening, here's what's going on in the story. Like, I'm just like, okay, I don't need that, but okay, thank you, I guess. So if you get annoyed by that, maybe skip it or just be prepared for it. Overall, I do recommend How Green Was My Valley. Is it better than Citizen Kane? No, not even close. But it is a good movie, and it's got some strong moral values. It's got some good themes involving pro-union stances and just the family dynamics involving that. It is an interesting movie to highlight when it comes to making a town a character, but I think there are stronger movies that do that too. I think it's a good movie. It's not my favorite John Ford film, but it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was an entertaining and heartfelt in certain points. So yeah, overall, I do recommend How Green Was My Valley. Check it out. It's $4 to rent on all streaming services, so if you want to check it out, go right ahead. That's how you can do it. Now, if you want my full review on this movie, you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. You'll have my full written review right on the site, along with a link to the video that has this review that you've just listened to. Thank you for listening to this review. If you want to know what we're reviewing in the next couple of days, you can look on the screen right now to see what's coming up next. If you like what you heard, go ahead and leave a like on this video. If you want to discuss your opinion on the film or the review itself, please leave a comment. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the channel. Thank you again for listening. I will talk to you next time.